In this video, we're going to add a table from a feature service to a web map using the ArcGIS API for Python. So open up the add table to webmap.py script from the WebMap content folder. Once more, we're going to use the map object content property, which returns a map content object, and use the add method, but this time we are going to add a table from a hosted table service. Up top, we are importing table from ArcGIS.features. As always, we first access ArcGIS Online. We then use the content manager get method and supply in our WebMap item ID. I'm going to paste in my ID from the notepad. You can also grab it from ArcGIS Online. We now have an item object that represents our web map. We want to create a map object, so we feed our item object into the map class constructor, and we now have a variable called WebMap that represents our map object. We use the content manager get method, and this time we supply in the item ID for our NIAH hosted table. I'll head over to ArcGIS Online and grab this item ID. Here I'm in our FDM training folder, and here we see the hosted table. That is our NIAH. I'm going to click in, and over on the right hand side I am going to grab the item ID for this content item. I'll copy and head back over to PyScripter. I'll paste in the item ID. Now there are a couple of ways that we can get the table that is inside that hosted table service. Up top we imported the table class. We can use the table class and use the from item method, supplying in our table item above, which represents the hosted table service, and we want the one and only table within that service. We could also set our table variable to equal the table item itself and use the tables property and grab the only table from that service. So either of these approaches will work. I'm going to comment out the code I just typed in there, and we will use the table class since we import that at the top. Let's make some use of it. And now we want to call our map object, so our web map variable, our content property, which is our map content object, and the add method. And our item to add is our table. This represents the table that is inside our table feature service. We will call the update method on our web map to commit the change. Before running, I'll head back over to ArcGIS Online once more. I'll go back to content and click into our web map. Scroll down and we can see we currently have one table present, and this table is from our NIAH hosted feature service, not our table service. We'll head back over to PyScripter and let's run our script. Our script is complete. Let's head over to ArcGIS Online and check the result. You see here we currently have our single table, so when we refresh we expect a second one added. And we will hope that it doesn't give us one of those subtype group errors. We'll refresh, scroll down, and painfully we can see that it has indeed given us that error. And the important things here is, where did our new table get added? Was it above or below the one that was currently there? Can't really tell because the names are the same. But let's click on this first one here. It opens up a new tab, and we should see if it comes from our feature service or our hosted table. So we can see that that is from our hosted table. This indicates that every time we add a new table, it gets added on top of the previous. In this video, we saw how we could add a table from a hosted table service to our web map. You could also use the workflow here to grab a table from a hosted feature service and add it to our web map.